This is my Global Health Innovation presentation about the healthcare crisis in Palestine. Changing borders have been defined by conflict. Historically, Palestine described an approximately 10,000 square mile area in the Middle East that was considered a holy land to Muslims, Christians, and Jews. In the 1800s, the Zionist movement wanted to establish a Jewish homeland in the area based on biblical promises to Abraham and his descendants. Conflicts arose over this land between the Zionist Jews and the Palestinian Arabs, who at the time were the demographic majority. War broke out between the two groups in the late 1940s. The UN stepped in to designate 3 separate areas in an attempt to stop the conflict: the West Bank and Gaza and the State of Israel. This map shows a nice transition of the borders from historic Palestine to modern-day borders of West Bank, Gaza, and the State of Israel. It also has a brief timeline of how this has transitioned over time. Control of the borders, with Israel on one side and Egypt on the other, supplies and healthcare workers are frequently not allowed across the borders into West Bank and Gaza. This has led to a critical shortage in existing clinics. Palestinian hospitals are also frequently lacking important diagnostic equipment, such as CT scanners to diagnose things like cancer. If a Palestinian needs special medical care or access to this diagnostic equipment, which is routinely found in Israeli hospitals, they must petition Israel for a permit to cross. Each year, approximately 200,000 requests are submitted. 1/5 of those are typically denied. Because of this hindered access to healthcare professionals and medications, Palestinians often face much worse health outcomes than their Israeli neighbors. One statistic that is important is the infant mortality rate. In West Bank and Gaza, it's almost 6 times higher than the infant mortality rate in Israel. Also, the average life expectancy of a Palestinian male and female is typically 10 years younger than the average life expectancy of an Israeli male and female. These statistics paint a picture of a big difference in the access to healthcare and outcomes for Palestinians compared to Israelis. Difficulties at the borders. There are organizations in place, such as the Palestinian Authority, which is a government organization working to provide public access to healthcare. Also, outside organizations such as UNICEF and Doctors Without Borders are working tirelessly to meet the needs of this underserved population. You might think, what can I do to help? The most important first step is to bring awareness to the situation. Because of complex political and religious conflicts, many people are unwilling to talk about it. But because of this, innocent people are suffering needlessly. The second step is to support organizations that are already in place in any way you can, whether that's a financial donation or a donation of your time. The third step is to get involved in social innovations. I'd like to see the implementation of a program that goes into the West Bank and Gaza and helps train unemployed Palestinians in providing basic medical care to help meet the needs of the local population. I'd also like to see organizations working with hospitals and lab supply companies around the world to donate much needed supplies. This is a humanitarian crisis that has to be addressed. We can no longer be silent.